Ladies and gentlemen, it's in a spirit of tremendous pain and questions that we welcome you all here today. We join with good people around the world who mourn the loss of 45 innocent people who came to pray, who came to be inspired, and for reasons that we don't have, tragically lost their lives, brothers, sisters, nephews, uncles, all together in a very, very painful way. And I do want to welcome here to our synagogue some very special guests, beginning with the honorary friend Niall, who was an iconic figure here in our state. Blessed to have him, who always stands up for anything to do with religion and decency. And despite the fact that there is a vote taking place in the Parliament today of great importance in terms of the energy bill, was able to be here, and we're very honored. And Mrs. Niall, thank you very much for being here.
Thank you.
I want to make a special welcome to Shai Zarevsky, who's here as Israel's representative for economic affairs, who we come to know and to appreciate and to respect. Mr. Alex Rifchin, who is the co-CEO of the ECAJ, and for this incredible work, speaking up for Jews across the country, and for all issues of right and wrong, speaking and writing very eloquently. Thank you so much. Special welcome to Yigal Nisal, who's the JNF Shliach, very, very involved for education, very, very much involved in bringing the knowledge and the depth of Israel here to our shores. Thank you very much, Yigal. And a special welcome to our Chazan, who's no stranger to this place, Rabbi Yehuda Yazov, who will be reciting our thing, and a special thank you to our president, Mr. Manfred Levy, who's here as well. I believe some of you in the back. Thank you, Mr. Levy. I want to begin by asking my son up here and to read the certificate.
שאמר ישראל אדוני בצרוס עלי קורוסי ויענני אדוני הצילו נפשי מספס שטר ולושן יביאו מה ייתן לך ויוסף לך לושן יביאו חיצגי וישנוני ממגח עלי רסומים אוי לי כגרתי משך שכנתי מוליקי דור אבל שוכנו לנפשי עם סויני שולם אני שולם וכי אדבר הימל המלחמה. As someone that was every year in Meron, and I know how difficult it is to accept such a big tragedy and the difference between the simcha that we have here every year to this challenge that we have this year, we should know that all Reb Shimon wants and all we really need to take from this is just to be happier and more besimcha. And the simcha that Reb Shimon gives us on Lag Baimer, everything that says about Reb Shimon on Lag Baimer is about his simcha, how he dances on the roof. We should just take this for to be happier and bring more happiness into our life.
Sagt Reb Shimon Beichoi, as kol mokim shegolu shchinu imohem, as nie der Pshat chas v'sholem, as Yid gefindt sich in Golus, und der Rebischter gefindt sich in sein Palace in de Himmel, und guckt zu, von eben, was tut sich mit der Jiden unten, und geht ein Bruches, sagt Reb Shimon Beichoi, nie das in der Ruftu. Der Ruftu ist, dass der Rebischter gefindt sich, und dort, wo sie gefindt sich, jeder Ried. Und bischass Yid gefindt sich in Golus, ich China im Moher, gefindt sich dort der Rebischter zusammen mit ihm in dem Golus. Nicht gefindt sich dort, wie seitiger Inyan, nur gefindt sich dort in der Neffen, was beholt zur Rossum, leid zur. Bischass Yiden wird eng, nachmals der Mine von Golus, zieht es wird der Engkeit in Ruchnis, oder a viele Begashmius, ist auch demels sagt der Rebischter, als hat dieselbe Leiden, mit derselbe Schwerkeit, mit derselbe Engkeit, wo das ist zur Rossum, von Iden, bei Golus, was für ein Golus es soll nicht sein, zieh das Eden, oder wie der Rest der Golus in Bovel, ist beholt zur Ross und leid zur, wo der Funde doch verstandig, auf wie viel man hat es Jahre, die Hilfe von den Nebensten, auf überkommende alle Schwierigkeiten, worin der Rebischter hat sich qua Jochla reingestellt, als hat dieselbe Schwierigkeiten und war fahre doch verstandig die Stadlers von den Nebensten, aber die Gejule soll kommen, was früher. Sie darf aber sein, bechol zur Rossom Leitzor, aber das soll eng machen, echeta Jiden, als soll schreien ad Mossad, wenn sie kommen die Gejule und der Rebischte wird Aris von Golus und mitnehmen mit sich und alle Jiden werden Aris von Golus.
In Elie Wiesel's A Beggar in Jerusalem, a book recommended to me by Rabbi Slavin, the narrator is in conversation with a sage. They speak of suicide, and the sage tells the man, dying is no solution. The man asks, and living? The sage responds, nor living either, but who told you there's a solution? The exchange captures man's search for rational answers to life's mysteries, our demand for certainty, for solutions. Psychologists like Daniel Kahneman, the Israeli Nobel laureate, tell of how we construct neat little stories to explain things we cannot fully understand in order to convince ourselves that things are predictable and certain. In fact, so much of life is chaotic and beyond our control and beyond our understanding. How is it that 45 of our kin died on Mount Meron and Lag BaOmer? How is it that righteous men performing a mitzvah on a holy day at the tomb of a tzaddik met their end? And not by the hand of some terrorist butcher, but under the feet of our own, crushed and stamped in panic, consumed by an inferno that sucked the air from their lungs. How could such a thing happen? Why did such a thing happen? Wiesel, the man of faith with the soul of a poet, would not be able to explain, nor would Kahneman, the man of science. Some things simply evade our poor powers to comprehend. One thing I've learned from my own life and my own dose of tragedy is that the worst happens in life, the unthinkable, the unjust, and there isn't a thing we can do to stop it. But knowing this, accepting this, what we can do is try to balance the ledger a little bit, even the score, bring joy into our lives, bring holiness into our lives, devote ourselves to our family, feel the bonds of our peoplehood and of our community, bring happiness to others, act justly to strike a blow against the injustice and the misery that will touch all of our lives. I wish I could offer words of comfort or find some light in this time of darkness, but that would only distract from what happened here, and thus disrespect our sacred dead and their families sitting shiva, who have no comfort and no light right now. All I can say is that we cannot control what tragedy will strike our people next or enter our own lives, but we do control the good and the joy that we can take for ourselves and give to others. May the memories of the dead bless those who knew and loved them. May the survivors be healed in body and soul. May the families of the dead be comforted among the mourners of Zion and Jerusalem. And may the joy in our lives always triumph over the sorrow and the pain.
Amen.
Thank you very much, Alex. I'd like to ask Shai to come forward, please.
Rabbi, thank you very much for giving me the opportunity to be here tonight. We normally meet under very different circumstances. We normally convene in events of happiness and joy, and unfortunately, in times of sorrow, sadness, remembrance, and commemoration. We regularly pride ourselves on the outstanding achievements Israel has gained during its 73 years of independence, while we annually remember the heavy price and cost of the sacrifice we have made along the way. We humbly meet once a year to reflect on the greatest tragedy that happened to the Jewish people in the middle of the 20th century, and we commemorate the calamities that happened to the people of Israel that we endured throughout our rich history, all of which are carved in our memories. We never forget, we don't easily forgive, We always strive to provide our respect, and while doing so, we pray, we cry, we remember, we definitely unite. One can never put himself in the shoes of those who paid the ultimate price, we say. The tragedy that took place at Mount Meron last week reflects all of those values and emotions we are familiar with. Joy, excitement, celebration, festivity, strong belief, unity, and sadly also horror and tragedy. It is such a tragedy where 45 different and separate lives are lost. It is unique in the story of sadness that Israelis and Jews around the globe are so unfortunately familiar with. We get a painful reminder that the journey from sadness to joy can abruptly be turned and also get reversed from joy to disbelief. So we should once again unite, pray, and be resilient. Our strength and unity rehabilitate us. As Israel is embroiled in a political chaos and troubled by a polarized society, this disaster should be a moment of unity, a moment of remembering that we only have one state, we are one people, we have one country, and our strength as a people lies only in our unity. It is this kind of solidarity with Israel that shows the strength and determination of the Jewish people, and all of us are gathered here tonight and at home. While we are different in so many ways and paths, we constantly remember that we are one, we are all responsible and caring for each other, we are all sad and we are crying for our brethren. We say that Kol Yisrael Alevim Zeh Lazeh, all of Israel are responsible, and are liable, and are caring one for each other. So with this, I would like to thank the organizers, Rabbi and your amazing family, for the Salam Memorial event, for putting together the Salam Memorial event under these difficult circumstances and short time, and for, of course, inviting me to say those words. Let the blessed memory of the victims of Mount Meron be cherished in the story of the living, as well as in our memories, our hearts, and our thoughts.
Amen.
תהיה נשמתם צרובה בצרור החיים. Thank you very much.
Amen.
Thank you.
We, the Jewish people, are based on education, education, education. So with this in mind, I invite Yigal Misel to the DNF.
Thank you, Rabbi. Thank you, Shiva, for inviting us. On the behalf of JNF Australia, we would like to express our condolences for all the families, 45 families that lost their dearest. Israel, unfortunately, are suffering a lot from the day the state was established, from a lot of tragedies that's happening in Israel. And this one that happened last week is one of many that shouldn't happen. We also know as people that after a tragedy that we have, we know how to move forward and raise from this very sad situation that we are. I can say that following the social media in Israel, you see the achdut, the united of Israelis, that just the day before we're dealing with not understanding the other side. If it's in politics, if it's religious against secular, if it's anything that people wouldn't agree with others, they were opposed that and they were put it on social media. But the amazing thing that happened was that people after this tragedy, they were united. I saw that families, young people, went from Tel Aviv, secular, never went to Bnei Brak before, and went for the Shiva to sit down with a family that they never met. They didn't know that person till they saw the day after in the newspaper that young person that lost his life. And he was sitting there and he was welcoming from the family to sit down and hear the story of that person. And for me, that's the story of Israel. Unfortunately, we are suffering from a lot of things, but we know also to be united. So I really hope that in the future, we will have only good things to celebrate. And if unfortunately we will have to be in those situations of death and hard time, especially in Israel, we will know how to move on and get united much more than we were in the past. I want to finish and send our refuah shlema to those who was injured, was still in hospital. We really wish you that you will come and go back to your life. Am Yisrael Chai.
Thank you, Amen.
Thank you very much.
God bless you guys.
I would like to ask the Reverend Fred Nile, who in a state like New South Wales and the country like Australia needs no introduction, to please come forward.
My wife is here with me tonight, so if you don't mind if she stands with me.
Pleasure.
I've actually just come from the Parliament. The New South Wales Parliament is sitting at this moment discussing an important bill, but I said I felt that I should be here and take part in this special memorial service remembering the 45 people who died. The note I have says that there were fathers, brothers and loved ones and sons. It doesn't mention females, but I assume that there would have been some females injured in the event, this tragic event, when they were all gathering together for a celebration and something causes a panic, and in that panic innocent people died. 45 people died, fathers, brothers, loved ones and sons. And I'm pleased to be here tonight in this very special event in memory of the victims. We're honouring and having this service and lighting the candle in due course and share words of comfort at the communal memorial service. It's my prayer that this will be a sign of comfort and hope to the grieving families. None of us have lost a loved one, but we can just see and feel the pain of those who have lost loved ones in an unexpected tragedy when no one anticipated this would happen. And I pray that by my presence here with my wife, this will be a comfort and a source of hope to the grieving families. We stand with you, and you do not suffer alone in your sadness and through this tragedy, but you are linked with love with men and women around the world of all different nations, not just Israel, but all different nations, and particularly tonight, including the land of Australia. So may God bless the relatives and families of those who have lost a loved one. May God be a comfort and strength to them and help make up for the emptiness that they feel with the grace of God being present with them, that they are not alone, but God, our Heavenly Father, loves them and cares for them, as we do tonight. Amen. Thank you.
I would like to call Rabbi Yehuda Thank you very much, Rabbi Meron of the Central Synagogue. We also include in the Commemorating sad news that we just received of the passing of Yehuda Goeta, who was a 19-year-old student who was shot in Tapora Junction just the day after this tragedy took place, and to all those still fighting for their lives.
When tragedy strikes, it always hurts and leaves us all thinking about our families, the people we love, and the life that we know. And we think about these 45 families who in a couple of hours received the news that their loved one would never return home. And the realization sinks in for all of us that there is a giant hole in tens of families who are really just 1 degree away from us, living in Israel, so similar to us, fellow Jews. And to echo the words of Alex, it's very hard to live our lives trying to prevent tragedy, trying to control the things that are not in our ability. What we can control is the good deeds, the reaction that we have to the way other people treat us, and the actions that we can take. And now that there are these 45 souls that have been taken from our world, we each have the responsibility to fill their space in one way or another, in a small or a big way. We can take that into our lives. I'm going to read out the names of the victims, and during that time we can think for ourselves about these families who have lost these precious sons and brothers and fathers. Ariella Hod, 21. Rabbi Akiva Al-Kadba, 24. Avram Daniel Abon, 21. Moshe Ben Shalom, 20. Rabbi Moshe Bergman, 24. Rabbi Yonatan Chevroni, Yedia Chayot, 13. Eliyahu Cohen, 16. Rabbi Simcha Bunim Diskin, 23. Chen Daron, 41. Moshe Mordechai El-Chad Sharf, 12. Yosef David El-Chad Sharf, 18. Moshe Natan El-Ganda, 14. Yeshua El-Ganda, 9. Moshe Yoel Fekta, 23. Yedidia Fogel, 22. Elazar Gefner, 52. Rabbi Shrahi Gestena, 33. Rabbi Eliezer Mordechai Goldberg, 37. Rabbi Yosef Greenbaum, 22. Rabbi Eliezer Tzvi Joseph, 26. Nachman Kirschenbaum, 15. Rabbi Shmuel Tzvi Klasfeld, 34. Menachem Knobowitz, 22. Yossi Khan, 21. Elazar Yitzchak Kaltai, 13. Rabbi David Kraus, 33. Shlomo Zalman Leibovich, 19. Yosef Yehuda Levi, 17. Moshe Levi, 14. Yosef Mostarov, 26. Rabbi Shimon Maplan, 37. Yishai Mulam, 17. Nachman Daniel Morris, 19. Chaim Rock, 18. Yehuda Leib Rubin, 27. Rabbi Chaim Ozer Sela, 24. Elkanah Shila, 29. Rabbi Chanach Slod, 52. Doug Steinmetz. Yaakov Elchanan Sarkovsky, 20. Yosef Amram Tauba. Rabbi Ariel Tzadik, 56. Rabbi Moshe Tzarfati, 65. Rabbi Menachem Asher Zakbach, 24. It's heartbreaking how long this list is, and I think it will bring comfort to the families to know that in the furthest place from Israel, Sydney, Australia, there's a group of Jewish people and friends of Jewish people sitting here today to commemorate and take into their lives a lesson and the memory of these special souls. May we only gather for good and happy occasions, and thank you all for joining us today.